Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to TCG University. It's me, Noah, here with
James.
We're doing another Best Damn Deck. Today, we're going to do Cat 13. This one's it's a mid-range build built off of Hope as your linchpin for the deck, which we'll get into when we get into everything else. So, usual cool housekeeping things. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Support us down on Patreon down below at patreon.com/TCG University, where we put these out a week early. And I think our showcase matches are now just in Patreon because nobody really cared to view them on YouTube. So if you guys want to see the showcase match, pay $1. You get to see the showcase. Yeah,
it's understandable. We do post a lot of matches.
Yeah, sometimes it just gets drowned out.
It kind of gets, yeah.
But you'll get to see the showcase matches on there, where you can see cards posted up. It'll be a bit more detail added to the matches themselves. Blah blah blah. Anything you want to add before we jump right in?
Support us if you want to see the content earlier. Support us if you just want to help us make more content.
We're always down for anybody to say what kind of decks they would like 100%. Us to do, because these best damn decks aren't just the best decks in the game. It's a deck that we play.
Run out.
Eventually. It's just the decks that can be played and why we think they're the best damn deck. So
whether they are the best damn deck is still yet to be seen.
Yeah. This is in early meta, so we don't know for sure how Cat 13 is going to do. But I've dropped, I think, only one game with this deck currently. And I think it's just due to me having a few misplays. I think the deck's really cool. But as always, 5 core things we'll talk about are going to be the core of the deck, the techs and weaknesses following right after, the summons, and the limits. So let's go ahead and wow, there we go, move right on. So the core of the deck. We're going to start with, will revolve around the new Opus 23 Hope. Hope says, when Hope enters the field, you can pay X. When you do so, you can play a Category 13 character of cost X onto the field. X is whatever you play.
Your backups.
It literally gets backups really well. It also puts forwards out too, but it helps build your back row just a lot easier. Well, my thing is moving. And then Hope also has an ability that you can tap Hope and then blink him out of the game to play him next turn. Hope does not have haste, which is a slight unfortunate, but it actually isn't that bad. It doesn't feel as bad.
Watching him play, it does not feel as bad.
No, it doesn't. I thought it would actually be a big detriment, and I like Hope. I thought that would be a detriment to the card, but honestly, it's not.
It's just the format. Like, early game, nothing. Wool doesn't have anything that really stops an early game. I guess you could say Knights can, but they really don't.
And the fun thing is, though, if I slam Hope down and pay 2, I get Lightning, and then I can tap Lightning the next turn to give Hope haste and just do it again anyways. If the format gets too fast, Hope can play around the format speed, which I think is really cool. The next card we have on here is going to be Vanille. Vanille is the Opus... Oh, God, what starter is she? Opus 19 starter. Vanille says when she enters the field, you can search for a Hope, Fang, or Lightning. Card name Hope, Fang, or Lightning. Add it to your hand, and then she has a special, which is Imperoga. I really hope I'm not mispronouncing her special. Yes, Imperoga, which is ditch a copy of her during this turn. If a forward the opponent controls is dealt damage, double the damage instead, and then she deals 2k forwards to all the 2k damage to all the forwards the opponent controls. So she deals 4k at a base pitch. I think it's on a second pitch she does 12. I gotta get my math right because she do 4 on base, and then if you pitch again, that 4 it's 4 and 4, and that gets doubled, so it's 8. Or is it 4 and 4, which is 8, and that gets doubled to 6? I don't know. It does a lot. Two of it.
Base 2, it doubles into 4, it doubles again into 8.
Yeah, there we go. Using 2 essentially will board wipe. Yeah, she's really cool for that. And she helps search your pieces, and she's an EX, which is really good. I think this deck, currently this deck list plays 16 EX bursts, which is pretty cool. And then next we have Fang, also from Opus 19 starter. Right? She's a starter card. Oh, no, she's Opus 18 rare. My bad. The starter was the 4-drop.
Yeah.
So Fang says if you control 3 or more Category 13 characters, the Category 13 forwards you control gain 2k in power. So usually Fang and everybody else is buffed by 2k because your backups are all 13 anyways. And then she says, pay 0 during this turn. The cost required to cast your next Category 13 forward is reduced by 2. Cannot become 0. You can only use this ability during your turn and only once per turn. Cool tech things that she can do is she can make Hope a 1 cost, so Hope is just effectively cheaper to do anyways. She can turn the Lightning Limit Break into a 2 cost, so she essentially replaces herself with a summon, which is really cool. And I like that a lot. Any 2 drops become 1 drops, and 3 drops become 1 drop, stuff like that. Generically good because she boosts up your dudes. Hope
very
becomes
good if you want to play aggressively.
yeah. Hope becomes a 9K, and so does Vanille. And the fun thing is if you put Fang out first because she doesn't have any ETBs for like Ratsus or anything, you throw Hope out, and even if they Ratsu Hope, it still lives because it's a 9K. Yep. So even still, you have Hope out still, which is fine. I will accept that.
They have to deal with it again, or next turn you'll just get to Hope out.
Anyways. Yep. Next card we have is Nora, 3 CP backup from Opus. It will say it here. 1. Cool. Nora just says Search Hope.
Search Hope.
So Nora's just a way to get your Hope, and she's an expert, which was really good. Actually, it's the best thing you could ask for in this deck. Next, we have Lumina, who is...
Searches Hope.
Basically a search drop. Yeah, she's
searches any 13.
Opus 13. When she enters the field, you can search for a category 13 forward, add it to your hand. So her goal basically is to search Hope if you don't see Hope early enough, or if you want something else in hand, she can search for one of the cards I play in this deck, which you can see in the deck list down below, is the 2 CP Water Lightning, so you can just get Water CP for whatever reason you need.
Sidebar. Who is Lumina? Contextually to
Lumina, I believe,
13
is
as a person who's never played Final Fantasy.
From 13
2.
Oh no, I don't think she's 2. I think she's 13. Lightning Returns.
Like,
I think.
Who is she?
She no, because she works with Caius, and Caius is in Lightning Returns. No. Shoot, I'm so bad at that. Anything past the first game, I'm not
lightning?
Super knowledgeable.
She looks like lightning. That's why.
Well, she also looks like Sarah. That's the
That's
whole
also
gist.
true. That is also true.
No, she's neither. She's neither
like
of them.
She looks like.
I don't remember the exact.
That's
thing.
the reason.
She's like a copy clone thing. I think. I don't know. Somebody correct me.
Well, because like her job is mysterious woman, and the mysterious woman for WAF is the girl who forgot her name. So that's what I was asking.
Oh yeah,
she is a different. Character.
Sarah knows her name though.
It's kind of like a Zelda Sheik thing.
Yeah. Moving on. Oh, the text.
That's what I was asking.
So these are cards that I think are cool tech cards that you can put into the deck. Actually, some of these are already in the deck. So to start off, Zidane from Opus. God, I wish I could remember 19. Opus titles. Is it 19? Yeah, it is. Sick. Good job, James. We're getting there. Opus 19 Zidane. Super simple. On play, I'll look at your hand and remove a card I don't like. On swing, I'll do the thing. And it's super hard to block him. Next, we play Vanille from
18?
Opus. You say 19?
18.
Opus 18 Vanille. She's not on here, sorry.
Oh, okay. I think it's 18.
2-drop Vanille, that's Earth Lightning. That says you can tap her when an auto ability triggers and they have to pay 2, so she taxes, or you can break her, tap break, pick up a backup out of your break zone, which is whatever. She's essentially just another pitch for Imperaga, or if you want, because she costs 2.
We're also not playing this snow that we're about to talk about either.
Yeah, you can pay 2 and play her out with Hope. Snow is the same way. I think Snow is... I'll let James figure it out. Sorry.
I think he's 19.
Snow says on enter you reveal top 2 cards of your deck or remove top 2 cards of your deck. You can cast them if it's a Cat 13.
That Snow's 18.
And then damage 3 he gains haste. So on enter and on swing he does the same thing. I think it's haste and 3k at damage 3, right?
18. They're both 18.
Cool. Snow's just there if you want to play more things without having
different named characters.
Yeah, get it out of your hand. And Snow, I don't play a Snow in this deck, so he, easily gets around a lot. There's no name clashing issues with him. Next, we have Man in Black, self-explanatory in my opinion. You are playing a particular summon in this deck that we'll get into, which I think is very important. And Man in Black says you get to recur that summon. And when you cast it, you can essentially kill a dude off and say a dude can't attack or block, which is just really good. And then lastly, we put in the new Terra from Opus 23. Just because Terra says pick up any summon in my break zone and add it in my hand, and it costs 2 less to cast. And if they somehow decide to kill Terra, or she goes to break zone for whatever reason, I do the same thing. And it's only for that turn that it costs 2 less. But Terra's just generically good, and she's an expert. She's literally like a 1-to-1 power creep version of her old promo self.
Yep.
So that wraps up text. Is there anything you wanted to add? I think you wanted to add the promo lightning, right? That bounces.
No. I like the 2-drop lightning. The one that does the...
Oh, the lightning. Yes. Yeah, sorry. When I think 2-drop lightning, I'm thinking of the one that bounces back to hand because that's cheeky.
That one's good.
That'd be really funny to go play Hope, play lightning, swing, bounce it.
If you wanted to add more ice, you could do the Snow into the backup lightning that gives haste. Mm-hmm. And then when you play your Hope, give it haste immediately.
Yeah. So yeah, light lightning is also a consideration in here. I didn't put it in here. I've been thinking about it. like putting it in as a one of. It's just I don't like clogging my hand with a card I can't get rid of. Is the only issue.
I get it, but it's the easiest thing to throw on board.
But sometimes I do notice I have a grip of cards in my hand a lot playing this deck.
The 5-drop, you can also play the 5-drop because of we play Akaias and the Terra. You can play 5-drop Bahamut. The one that snipes
the new
a dude and removes 2.
Removes 2 dudes.
2 dudes from their discard pile. Yeah.
It removes 1 from discard, 1 9K or less off the board. Yeah. I could. But I think I threw that in. It might be in summons, or we'll talk about it there. We'll so moving on to the cards that I chose as the weaknesses of the deck while playing it. I'm still experimenting against different deck types, so it's a little weird. So I think Shadow Lord and or Titan, depending, are interchangeable. I think Shadow Lord's better because a good chunk of my cards are Lacies, which means they can kill a lot. At least Hope and Vanille, who are like my 2 big ones, are Lassie. Yeah. Which they're important to have, and killing 2 dudes for 7 is still fine. XIII, because XIII can hit the...
Hope immediately on board?
It can hit Hope, it can hit Vanille, it can hit Fang, which are your 3 big forwards that you have out.
Cool
it can hit Zidane as well. Cuchulainn is really cool, because Cuchulainn can blank Sarah, which says that your board's not negged by 5, and as much as I think in our set review, I didn't think Sarah was that good, but playing her into this deck, Sarah's actually pretty solid.
She's a little mid. I think she's
That's fair.
Good with a board state.
But
good with a board state.
I made Connor sweat because I put Sarah out and it's just a free board wipe. You're not, and his deck does nothing but play small dudes.
So it makes bad scenarios.
Yeah. And then Ratsu, because Ratsu cancels everything. Ratsu's gonna just float around everywhere. And Sid Rendell, because Sid Rendell says Hope, Vanille, don't do anything. Yep. Which kind of sucks because those are 2 big cards that we want to abuse as much as possible. Yeah. Next, we move on to... do you have any cards you want to add for the weaknesses? I would have thought Mist Dragon, but I don't care about my break zone.
Maybe...
So it never feels bad.
I guess you would only have to worry about it because of the Hope. I
think option. Monsters might be an issue, but realistically, I play cards that say it get around them.
Tiflon, it's the FFCC dude that says when you go to play a dude, if it wasn't played by casting, you remove it.
Oh yeah.
So when you hope
for the one time I hope, yeah. Which is fair,
I mean, it gets rid of a dude, and you have to pay for it beforehand.
Yeah,
because that's your option. You're stacking it on triggers.
Yep. So. I also do want to throw in a tech card that I played as a 1-of in this deck is Caius from Opus 23, just because paying 5 to grab to put a 5-drop 9K out that can bring himself back to life and says grab a Bahamut and free cast it is nuts. So moving on, we have our
summons.
No, it should be our limits. No, I was wrong. I'm closing these out wrong. So we did weaknesses, so it is summons, correct? My bad. So we have our summons. So the summons I put in here, I think only 3 of them. No, I lied. 4 of them are currently in the deck. Yes. XIII is a iffy one. I don't really know if the deck needs a board wipe, just because the deck is really good at just single target getting rid of things. So going through, we'll start with this is the Opus
16.
Opus 13. Opus 13 Odin. It's a 5-drop EX burst that says break a 4 to 5 or less at 5 damage. It costs 3 less, so it's a 2-drop. Generically good, and you're playing you're playing the Opus. What is this? 20 Lightning, I believe.
18.
No, there's no way this is 18. Oh my god, can you please
make the thing small?
Opus 19 Lightning. My bad. Opus 19 Lightning that says pitch an Odin, choose a forward and break it and break Lightning. She also does cool cheeky things, and then we play the starter Bahamut. Because
it's really good because it's a 13 deck.
Yeah, it says pay 2, 10K dude, remove it, which is super good. And with the recursion that we have from Terra and Man in Black, and the fact that we're playing 3 of this card in that deck, we get to just bomb boards. And we're also playing the new Opus 23 Odin. We play a good chunk of Lightning cards. So one that's just an EX burst that just says kill forward, which is really good.
It is just as good as the 7-drop Odin.
Yep. Except for the cool thing is we can make it cost 3.
Yep.
Which is why we play it over the 7-drop Odin. Because I almost have a guarantee to cast this at least once or twice for 3 instead of having to pay 7, which just feels a little weird sometimes.
Pay 9, actually.
Yeah, sorry. Instead of having to, as opposed to paying 7 with the other one. Yeah.
As opposed to paying 7 for the
and then Ratsu, because Ratsu's nuts.
Yep.
This deck needs Ratsu, in my opinion. because you have to have a way to tell your opponent no after you go big.
You are because of the Hope engine. You are a slower style deck.
So you need the Ratsu.
You need the mid game.
Yeah, because we play a slower Hope engine.
I think the only other things you could add is if you wanted, you could play. If you were really worried about
the new 5 CP Bahamut,
the 5 CP Bahamut, obviously. Exodus is a good replacement for Ixion.
Mm-hmm.
And because I think Exodus is about to get very, very good.
Exodus might be a bit better to not hurt your deck as much, depending, because your numbers are spread out generally between 3, 2, 4, and 5. It just depends on how many of what you put on board. Because you can put a lot of either.
And then, like Belias, the 2-drop Belias, give haste to the Hope if you really wanted to.
We could also, if we really wanted to be cheeky, play Brynhilder. With Sarah involved, Brynhilder kills just about anything and draws you a card.
I didn't think about that either, but yeah.
Which is funny. And not like it matters, but with Snow, Brynhilder is a Cat 13 card, so Snow could reveal it off the top too, and you could cast it, which is kind of funny.
That's neat.
So that kind of wraps up summons. If you guys, obviously, as we're going through this, if you guys have anything you want to throw in on these topics, please feel free to. These are just generalized lists that we put out. This list I based initially off of a YYT list. Shout outs to them for that. And then obviously I added a few changes. I don't think they played Man in Black or Terra in theirs.
YYT's content.
I guess. I don't believe they had Man in Black and Terra in theirs, and I don't think they were playing the 2-drop Noelle from Opus 17, which I'm playing in my deck. They were playing Godot. I didn't have them, so I just swapped out cards to fix a lot of things. And I think the way this deck works perfectly for me, but different.
I think Godot's only good with the aggressive build. I don't think it's that good with like a mid-range.
And then lastly, we have our limits, and this is probably one of the most diverse limits
that you've built,
that I've built, which is odd to say. Besides, I think Dancers maybe, just because I have access to 3 colors and a light card. But so 4 CP Lightning, pretty self-explanatory. I can pick up Odin's. I can pick up XIII if it exists. It's a 13, so I can make it 2 less, and it's just another body to put on board in case I need Sarah to trigger. Cloud is also a given. I'm playing Lightning. I should play Cloud as well, just because the straight break is really nice. Little Lila's good for Sid Randell's because they put those out, and I just don't have a summon in hand. We can always have her out, and she will always neg 7 on it. Nope. Sid Highwind we play at a 1 of because Sid Highwind can help fish out backups, and we only play 11 backups in this deck because Hope is supposed to give us what we need. So Sid Highwind's helpful to get at least 1 extra backup out if need be. Usually you want to use them early. If you use them late game, I just don't think it's worth it because you're already funneling through your deck at that point. And then I do play 1 of Luna Freya. I also play Leo because we play 3 water cards, and I mean,
when in doubt,
Leo out. And Luna Freya is actually really good in this deck. We play 16 EX bursts. So, like, some of the cool things I've done off of Luna Freya is hit an Odin, so I can break a dude, and then I have an Odin and a Lightning card in hand. I'm on damage 5, so I can play Odin again. Or I hit a Vanille, and Vanille will go search me out any missing piece that I need forward-wise.
Or even, like, Nora to search out a...
Yeah, or we hit like a Saz backup, so the Saz can go find me a Bahamut, and then I have the fire CP for the Bahamut and the Bahamut in hand. It's really cool. And she's just, I mean, she's a 6-drop 7k, which isn't a very on-curve thing, but honestly right now I think it's pretty fine because she has the ability to trigger an EX burst that does apply to the stack, but it's like whatever. Otherwise, if I were to give this deck a total score, like 1 to 10, 10 being super busted, 1 being utterly garbage, I'd put it between like a 7 and an 8 currently. I don't think it's anything game breaking, but I think it is a very solid deck to just build from. And it
has very good cores.
Yeah, the possibilities of how you play the deck are actually endless because Hope essentially color fixes for everything, which is insane. I think that's the coolest part about the deck is that if you want, you can take just Hope and Vanille and Fang if you really want to out of this deck, and then throw them into any other type of 13 engine you want, and it probably functions just as well. Especially because this deck does the one thing I like, and it says that I can play backups off of my forwards. I like
free stuff.
I like to get my backups out as efficiently as possible, and hope yeah, it's real estate. Hope really allows you to do that. James, as somebody that's played against the deck a few times, what would you say overall? How does it feel? It's not super oppressive. I don't think it's that bad. But
early
I think
game it feels very, very dependent on Hope.
Mm-hmm.
In late game, it feels very dependent on having outs to your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the biggest issue. Is by itself, the dudes it puts on board are not good enough. But Hope lets you get there quicker. But with Bahamut's, obviously Man in Black, Caius, Terra, you abuse the fuck out of your sons.
Was it you
That you did the cool lightning play with?
that I did the cool lightning play with, where I pop lightning, or I pitched the Odin, so it was pitch an Odin, target a forward, lightning will break the forward and herself. In response to that, we tap and break the new Opus 23 Mog 2 or Mog 13-2 backup that says search for a category 13 forward, so that I could search for a forward to play off of lightning going to the break zone. I think I played another lightning, didn't I?
Grab the water lightning.
Yeah, I grabbed the water lightning and put that out to Dola Dude and draw a card. And the card I drew was Zidane, which won me the game. Zidane is also your mid to late game
Zidane
play. He's good any point in the game. Realistically, I played a game where I think I used Zidane and stole like 7 cards from my opponent.
You stole 9 total with your Bahamut's.
Yeah, the Bahamut's hit 2,
Yeah.
but the Zidane took 7. Zidane at any point in the game is just really good to play. The only issue with Zidane is like to make him cost effective, you want to get a Nora out as soon as possible, because Nora is your only win backup.
You have to find a Saz or a Lebro.
Which they're easy. Because once you get Nora out, you're going to get a Hope, and you play Hope and you pay 2 and you get a Lebro. And then from that point on, Zidane's always active whenever you draw one. The only hard part is because it's weird, because I think funneling through the deck should make it easier to draw certain things. But sometimes Zidanes out of 3 of are still really hard to draw, even when I'm funneling out all of my forwards. But yeah, that's kind of encapsulates the deck overall. I think it's a really fun deck to play. I think everybody should try it out for sure. I think this deck, depending on what support we get in like the next set or two.
Other weakness. This deck list specifically is a little low on backups in general.
Oh, it's very low.
So if you
on
can't
backups.
find Hope or Nora, you're kind of sitting behind nothing.
Mm-hmm. That's why we have the mulligan, because we need Hope, Nora, or Lumina.
If you don't,
So
get
there's
your
9.
searcher,
There's 9 cards in the deck that can hopefully get me somewhere, and then at worst we
Vanille
play
doesn't
Sid
do
Randall.
that. Doesn't Vanille search Hope?
I mean Vanille 2, so technically 12 plus the Sid. So there's 13 cards we can play to try and get a backup going.
To get something going to get a backup.
Which is fine. That's the point, right? We need some way to get the deck rolling, and these are the ways to do it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed watching. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe, and
This is Taylor.